Hello, everyone, and welcome to No Highway Option. It's a podcast about cinema where we answer the one question that applies to every film. Is it better or worse than Vin Diesel's 2005 seminal masterpiece, The Pacifier? I'm Connor J. Barracuda.
And
I don't, do we do fish puns for this one?
If we're in tradition, we have to just shove them down everybody's throat. The same way that the movie did. But, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'm Luke Lake. That's way more Fortnite than it is this movie for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like saying Lake and then your last name would be better than just Luke Lake. Do you just not want to say your last name?
It's not a fish.
Yeah, whatever. And we have a guest with us today. You might know him from his Twitch streaming channel, Camp Daddy. It's just Camp Daddy, right? Not real Camp Daddy?
Yep.
Okay.
Camp_Daddy.
It's JT Holtaway.
Hi. Hello.
And this week, in case you didn't realize do you have a fish pun, JT?
I was going to say Beatty, but I think
there
that's
you go.
Little... Yeah. I didn't know if I could pass it in or not. But
it's definitely something.
Okay, yeah.
And this week's movie, given to us by Teresa, was Shark Tale. 2004 DreamWorks animation production, which I think is DreamWorks' first... Or no, it's only their second non-Shrek CG movie.
Wow.
Which, I don't know, I realized that the other day and it kind of surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
This is a movie I definitely watched a few times growing up, but I think my sister had the soundtrack and that's really most of the impact it had on me. And then French Class.
Interesting.
I definitely
French
saw
Class
it once. And then
for French Class, it would be this Will Ferrell's soccer movie, Kicking and Screaming, if anybody remembers that.
I love that one.
Or Mr. Holland's Opus. Sometimes they would be in
Also a
French.
good one.
Sometimes they wouldn't.
Wow, I know that from what I did a little bit of background research on Shark Tale, and it looked like this was in the contention or nomination for some awards too. And I think it was in the same class as Shrek 2.
If it was Best Animated Feature 2004, it was probably Shrek 2, Shark Tale, and The Incredibles, and The Incredibles won.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because The Incredibles good.
This is pretty close though.
But this is a peer of The Incredibles.
I mean, yeah, if
this runs with the big dogs.
If you ask the Academy, any movie that has animation for 6 seconds in it is oh man, that's just like Toy Story. Yo, y'all see that food fight? Same as Toy Story. Okay, that fell flat. Do we want to get started with the analysis?
Sure.
Yeah.
Luke, you want to start off?
We kick it off with a worm man. He screams.
Yeah. The first
Does
time
not bode well for the rest
a
of the
logo,
film.
The logo variation really surprised me. And as a kid, I was like, they can do this. It can just be part of the movie.
Yeah.
The only time it made you
bad.
think.
I feel bad because I didn't have the experience to reference this watching this as a kid. I only watched it nowish, so I have all this other context of what other movies came out and how movies have changed, and just an immediate impression looking back is that this was really dripping with 2004. Yeah.
Also, the worm just looks disgusting.
Yeah.
Something about
a lot of things look disgusting.
Something about its textures, just it looks like person skin instead of a worm.
I was not a fan. I also watched this entire movie in YouTube clips.
I sent you the file.
I know, and I couldn't get it. I have really bad internet at the house. You know this. That's why I'm recording in this car right now. But I couldn't get that link. Like, it wouldn't download fast enough where, like, it's still probably downloading at the house. So, and like, just clicking play on it, it would buffer to shit. So I was like, I went to YouTube. I was gonna rent it. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna spend $3 and watch it. And then I searched Shark Tale full movie and found a 19 video long playlist of its individual the DVD scenes.
The real heroes.
Okay.
The real heroes.
I searched that too at first before I found it, and I didn't trust that playlist because I was like, they gotta be missing something.
They're missing one scene, but it's 12 scenes in. I was so deep when it happened. I had to look up another YouTube video by Shark Tale Scene 12.
Piecing together the ancient text.
Bit by bit. Once I complete Exodia.
The full message.
During this prologue, a shark comes up behind the little worm man, and it's Lenny, the vegetarian shark, played by Jack Black. Mm-hmm. And he lets the worm get away because he's not going to eat him. And then his brother Frankie comes up singing the Jaws music, because DreamWorks. It's Steven Spielberg's studio. Calling in all those favors.
Jaws is such a thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild how much they know about it. It's on billboards. They think of it as their theme song.
How did they watch it?
Yeah.
There is a lot of questions about like fish culture and human culture in this.
Man, talk about anthropomorphism. Like, that's like a big theme.
There's a lot of notes of me just being like, I hate their faces. Yeah. I hate how they move.
It's just like, I got some, like, when you look at certain angles of a bunch of the fish's faces, you get like Donkey from Shrek vibes a little bit. Just like in how like their mouths are and stuff.
After the sharks go away, the news reporter Katie Current,
I said,
"Get it,
fuck
Katie
you,"
Current,
aloud when it happened.
Announces the sharks are gone, so Fish Times Square can go off, and we get to see all great puns like Coral Cola, Gup Clothing,
and fish taxis.
Starfish on the.
Fish King. Literally Fish King.
Yeah, Burger King is just Fish King. Yeah, there are taxi fish, but, like, they're not transporting anyone.
And it never goes into it. Nobody ever takes a taxi. There's no one in those taxis right then, so you don't know, are they just weird tattoos? Is it like the Jaws
They're just
thing?
taxi-patterned fish with racist accents.
This is juxtaposed to with the whales. And the whole
We'll get to the whales. I'm confused about the whales.
Okay, yeah.
If we have to talk about the great puns on the Starfish Walk of Fame. Like Mussel Crow, Cod Stewart, Tuna Turner.
Yeah.
Seal, but it's a seal.
Yep.
Russell Crowe reference 1 of 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's at one point they zoom in and you just see a fish in a sushi restaurant,
and he does nothing.
Because he can't do anything. No one's gonna eat there because he's a cannibal. But we're supposed to laugh like, haha, he has no business, and it's like, because he's a cannibal.
Why did he
and
build
a serial killer.
I'd be actually modestly impressed if someone tried that out, like that same gimmick in an all people movie. Like, it's just like, wait, nobody wants to eat people? Come on! Like we just have that set up.
I call it Five Guys literally.
Oh my god.
Five Guys burgers with eyes.
Holy shit.
We're introduced to Oscar, the fish, played by Will Smith, and he's fantasizing about his uh, bachelor pad penthouse apartment but then we find out, aha, it's a billboard.
He's
Hee hee hee.
fantasizing about being a superstar Mac Daddy Fish.
Yeah.
He's got his TV, DVD, VCR, PlayStation, and the 8-track for when you feel a little wicka old school.
I was wondering if some of this movie was like meant for Will Smith to be getting back into his rap career.
I mean, 2004 is... He's still kind of there. Like, this is, what, just 2 years after Nadia had Black Suits come in, the song from Men in Black 2? Like, it's just the beginning of the millennium.
Oh.
That was what he said all the time.
Oh, man. Maybe they sold it to him as being the main character for this to, like, keep that momentum going in some weird way. I don't know. Like, in the casting conversation.
I also feel like he didn't have a script.
He just did outlines, and they were like, Will, talk. And he's like, that I can do. So he talks to some kids who are graffitiing the billboard, and then we go to Will Smith, Oscar, whatever's job at the whale wash. And the song Car Wash plays. Second movie of the podcast to feature Car Wash.
Interesting.
It was Little Giants and then this. Yeah, but the whales aren't cars for the fish. So they're just washing big dudes.
They need to get clean to fuck.
Scrub a dub.
Like they give them hot wax and they give them the little pine tree air freshener. How does a fish know what a tree is?
I will say that first little chunk of going into the whale wash was probably the most fun I had the whole movie. Just that 5 to 10 seconds.
I think
I
I've watched this enough where I'm just like, I have questions now. Like,
do you guys think that the Cars universe is more consistent in the world building that way?
Don't get me started about the Cars universe.
You know it's gonna happen
episode
eventually,
should
Connor.
be under 3 hours. No, because this has way too many...
There's no fish Catholicism.
Actually,
jeez.
Well, there... I mean...
Did I miss it? Was there?
I don't know, honestly, but I would assume because of the Mafia plot, there has to be some kind of thing. Like, if it's the Italian Mafia, that big. But anyway, I think this might be a little bit better because they gave a lot of the fish hands and fingers. Even though I hate it, it, like, explains that they can do things. And with Cars, they...
I think Cars is a better movie than this.
Oh, no, better movie, yeah. Okay. And, like, I don't like
the world
Cars
is more
much.
consistent, though.
But the world, yeah. We were introduced to Angie, who has a crush on Oscar. She's played by Renee Zellweger. Oscar brings her Oscar brings her her favorite breakfast with the logo right on the front, and she has to ask, is it Kelpie cream? Yeah. It's like, the logo's right there. You're reading it.
I feel like this was right in the middle of, and maybe this is a personal thing, but like Krispy Kreme, I feel like there was a moment where it was huge.
Yeah. No, this definitely was like Krispy Kreme's big, like, branching out time.
Do you think so? Like, Krispy Kreme was like their business strategy was saying get us more product placement or something like that.
I think to so. Spread.
Like in 2004.
I distinctly remember like the first time I heard about Krispy Kreme, and there being a section of time where I had family members who like made an event of driving to Krispy Kreme and bringing back the glazed donuts, and that went on for like a year.
This might have been my introduction to it, because like I looked at the logo, I was like, what? And like one of my parents might have laughed at Kelpie Cream. I'm like, why is that funny? They're like, oh, there's a person food called a Krispy Kreme. Okay. We also get to meet Oscar's boss, who Oscar is a goof off and pisses off. Sykes the Blowfish, played by Martin Scorsese, the famed director.
Yeah.
In the one acting role that I know he has done, is playing
his legacy.
a blowfish.
What a legacy.
And it had to be like a deal. They had to DreamWorks had to be like, all right, we'll produce The Aviator, because I think that comes out around this time. They'll be like, we'll produce The Aviator, we'll give you the budget for it. And Martin Scorsese's like, great, I'll get started right now. And then you see Jeffrey Katzenberg slowly pop in a frame like, but you gotta be fishy. It's like, can't I be in the Shrek one? No.
No, you gotta be a blowfish, bud.
Shrek doesn't have mafia influence in it. We need you to make the mafia influence credible.
Honestly, would have been a better turn for Shrek to have some mafia influence.
Wow.
Instead of the last two movies.
Actually, yeah, I really would have dug Shrek the Third if it had a not a similar story to this, but kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Scorsese, Sykes has a protection deal with Don Lito the shark, played by Robert De Niro. He's even got Robert De Niro's mole. Because they can.
Yeah, the fish faces, I did not like them.
They're all modeled after
board.
their actors' faces, which is weird.
But not enough.
It's like anamorphy, but not towards the end. It's like if you took DreamWorks animation style and used that as the anamorphs, you're somewhere in between. You're not all the way transitioned.
It kind of reminded me of, when someone takes their cell phone and they do a panoramic shot, but it's not a panoramic thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. All of their faces look just like that to me.
To be fair, it could have looked worse. A couple years before, different studio was trying to do a remake of The Incredible Mr. Limpet, which is a movie where Don Knotts falls into the ocean and becomes a fish and starts spying on World War II submarines because he's a fish.
Mm-hmm.
And the fish is a cartoon. And in the late 90s, they were like, you know who's perfect for this vehicle? Jim Carrey. So why don't we try to map Jim Carrey's face onto a CGI fish?
Oh!
So it could have been worse is kind of what I was thinking this whole time.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. I'd still watch that movie.
I'm curious about Limpet. Anyway, there's a joke where the background score to this sounds like the Godfather theme. It's probably the Godfather theme. And then an octopus bumps it, and it plays I Like Big Butts. And the octopus is like, hey, boss. He said big butts.
Yeah.
And who has that on the same record? Who has that on the same playlist? How do fish have a concept of butt? They're fish!
I think that's one of the clear shots at kids humor for the movie.
Or a little something for the grown-ups.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, Frankie is voiced by some guy who was on The Sopranos. I don't know who it was. I thought it was someone who I would know. Mm-hmm. Go back. There's more shenanigans at the whale wash. There's a guy named Headphone Guy.
You have headphones.
Yeah. And they are always like, haha, Headphone Guy. He doesn't listen to us. He's on his headphones.
And he almost gets, swallowed by the whale?
I think it's a threat of big vomit.
Okay.
The whale has indigestion. So Oscar rings a panic alarm. Mm-hmm. But nothing happens. And then that causes one of the whales to get soap in his eye.
Yep. And then...
And that's that. Moving on.
Yeah.
We meet Sykes' two goons. Ernie and Bernie, the Rasta jellyfish.
One of them is Ziggy Marley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ziggy Marley, and who's the other one?
I don't know.
I remember seeing it in the credits and then not knowing who he was.
It was one of those names I feel like I recognized, but I guess I can look it up.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, they played Every Little Thing a bunch of times in this movie, and then at the end I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is that they really just took the fact that jellyfish have tentacles and said that they're dreads. Like they just took a whole mile out of a like an anatomical inch of jellyfish.
Yeah, they went, oh, they got that big thing on the top of their head. It could be like a Rasta cap, right?
Yeah.
Ernie is voiced by Ziggy Marley, and Bernie is voiced by Dougie Doug.
Dougie Doug. All
Dougie
right.
Doug.
Yeah.
Now that I look back,
vaguely familiar.
it sounds familiar, but now that I look back, I may have just seen it, and my brain went, think of something better. Donkey Doug from The Good Place. It's like, it's a different name, different guy.
Yep. Different movie.
There's, the iconic moment where Oscar goes into Sykes' office and tries to get him to snap his fin. Snap it. Come on. Don't sweat it, Sykes. A lot of white fish can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah! It's like, that's the energy they're trying to bring.
Oscar owes Sykes $5,000.
Yeah.
Or clams. I don't know if clams is their actual currency, but they say clams a lot later.
Yeah.
Well, then there's the pearls.
Yeah.
So I guess,
I guess it's
it's
still
something.
dollars. There's a fish economy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oscar makes a big deal about singing, as you were saying, Every Little Thing's Gonna Be Alright, but he, puts a hip-hop twist on it. One of the Rasta jellyfish slaps him and tells him, that's not the way you sing that song, man. Which, I remember that being huge in the marketing.
Wow.
I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that, my sister and I being like, that's the funniest thing in the movie.
I imagine that music itself is one of the big things in the marketing. It's just the cast, we spent all of our money on these actors and the right to play this music.
Yeah.
So we're just
Absolutely.
going to we're just going to make that the draw and pray that people come and see this.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sykes is a pufferfish, so because he's a pufferfish, he puffs up, but his voice gets higher when he does?
The anti-Mrs. Puff.
Yeah, it's
about
true.
It. Yeah.
Headcanon is Sykes Mr. Puff.
Conspiracy music. Yeah, so 5,000 clams, and Oscar's given 24 hours to get that money.
Yes. And he mentions that he wanted to work at the whale wash ever since he was a kid because his dad worked at the whale wash. His dad, who has a huge afro. How does fish have hair? And it's not like it's a sponge on top of his head, because they have a bunch of time-lapse pictures of his afro getting smaller, and then he's a balding fish.
Yeah,
Fish
that's
don't
fish
have
hair for sure.
Bothered me. But Angie gives Oscar a pink pearl from her grandmother so he can get the $5,000. Meanwhile, Don Lito finds out that his son Lenny is a vegetarian because he sets a bunch of shrimp free.
Yeah, how about that shrimp? He tells him to eat that shrimp, and he tells that story about his life.
I laughed.
I
think the shrimp voice funny.
It's like Mr. Hanky, dude.
It's a really
just kept
basic high
going.
pitch. It's a really basic high pitched voice, but it makes me laugh all the time. Just because there's got to be some shining moment in anything, and for me, it was just sitting through a slog of designs that I hated and seeing something that was a cartoon fish that looked like a cartoon fish, not trying to look like a person, go, oh, you're a good person.
Yeah.
And he's voiced by an animator on the movie, David Soren, who directed the really underrated Captain Underpants movie. But I just wanted to mention the Captain Underpants
Plug
movie.
them, yeah.
It's very good. This is kind of a perfect movie to be watching and recording at the start of Pride because of Lenny's whole vegetarian thing is an obvious allegory for gay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In my notes, I have vegetarian equals gay question mark, and my suspicions were correct.
We move on to a seahorse race where Oscar is supposed to deliver the $5,000, even though that's a terrible place to send someone with a lot of money, but whatever. And he finds out that the race is fixed for someone named Lucky Day. And so he bets all $5,000 on Lucky Day, which gets the attention of Lola the sexy fish, played by Angelina Jolie.
Yep.
She's...
Yep. And her
her
theme
whole
song
shtick.
says that she's gold digging.
She's sexy
so
fish.
it's just laying it all out there.
This is a bad guy.
Yeah.
She's
It's
pretty
true.
honest about it the whole time. Like later in the movie when Angie's like, "Oh, do you think she would even like you?" It's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, she opened with that.
We get there's corn dogs or hot dogs or whatever at the race. Cow.
Manatee? Yeah, I don't know.
Cows.
Oh, I guess.
They're just eating manatees.
But,
there's no laws. It's just,
Lucky Day looks like he's gonna be doing really well, and he go fast, but there are some setbacks, but he go fast, and he get to the finish line and trips and falls.
right in front of the finish line.
Mm-hmm. And the movie makes a big point of making Oscar go, "How do you trip underwater?" And I'm like, if you lampshade it with a joke, that doesn't make it okay. It makes me more mad.
Yeah. I feel like they didn't know, like the writers didn't know how to handle being underwater. Like they didn't know how to handle just like any of that.
It's like that movie Sing. They kind of just wrote a person script and then went, but kids like Finding Nemo, so like, let's put some fish.
Yeah. This is one of my notes is Mom, can we have Finding Nemo? You have Finding Nemo at home. That was a part of my notes.
And then Finding Nemo at home.
Yeah.
The Finding Nemo at home.
So Oscar is left on his own to get eaten by Lenny the shark, but Lenny fails because he's a vegetarian. So his brother Frankie attacks and gets hit by an anchor.fm if you want to start your own podcast, and dies. So now everyone thinks that Oscar is the shark slayer because he takes credit for it, and Ernie and Bernie didn't see the anchor.
I think it should have been something else.
What?
I think like he should have crashed into something else.
Not an anchor?
I just feel like he wasn't swimming fast enough to die on impact with that anchor.
I mean, he didn't exactly die on impact. He had some, he lived for a little bit longer so we could get that great joke of him going, "I'm so cold," and Jack Black Lenny going, "That's because we're cold-blooded."
Yeah.
I think this is a weird Jack Black role too.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have been my pick.
That's like...
Don't get me wrong. Everything should have more Jack Black for sure. But like,
Did
if
School
this
of
was-
Rock
I don't
come out
know.
right around this time?
This was the year after
Okay.
School of Rock. I think School of Rock was 03.
That's what I
Um,
see, like, that and Kung Fu Panda are, like, the biggest things I see Jack Black from. But, I don't know, there's probably other stuff. It's just off the top of my head.
What about...
School of Rock is a perfect film.
Yeah, it's true. I can't deny it. So now everybody believes that Oscar is the shark slayer, and everybody loves him, and he's a somebody finally. Oh yeah, that's his arc. He thinks he's a nobody, and he wants to be a somebody.
Yeah. In this big fishy world, I'm gonna be a somebody. Yeah.
I give them some credit for them not doing like I don't want to be a big fish in a small pond, and someone being like, "You're a small fish in a big ocean." Like, at least they didn't do that.
Yeah.
because that would have been bad.
They
Isn't
did
that
say
exact
something.
dialogue
He
happened?
did say something very
Oh,
similar
did
to
they?
that. Like he literally
God.
said the small fish in a big pond. He was talking to Renee Zellweger about it.
I might have blacked out.
Yeah,
at that
he
point.
totally did that.
Yeah. He says he's a small
Okay.
fish
Yeah.
Fine.
in the big pond.
Fine. I'll rescind the credit. No credit for this movie. Pay me. I realized that the more scenes with the sharks that play, this whole movie was just pitched in one sentence. Someone just walked in, slapped the poster of The Godfather on the board, and changed the G to a C and be like, The Godfather? Got some fish, guys.
All of those sharks aren't sharks. Also,
Yeah,
it's a while before we get that meeting, but some of those are fucking whales.
it's true. One's just a swordfish.
The octopus. I don't. But yeah, they look like
There's
whales.
the old man who farts at
Yeah.
the funeral because he's old and he can't control his bowels.
Fart joke's funny. Please clap.
But he's the one who explains who the Shark Slayer is to Don Lito. Meanwhile, Sykes wants to be Oscar's manager because fame.
Yeah.
Everybody loved the Shark Slayer.
Oscar gets his fancy penthouse. He has parties. Everybody's there. Sykes
Angie sits on a balcony? How does a fish
You just,
sit?
you know,
with a
Yeah.
lot of effort. Haven't you ever tried sitting on the bottom of a pool when you were a kid?
But I got legs.
in the center of gravity.
It takes a lot of effort. I don't know. They
My bottom half isn't a tail.
they have fish legs. Some of them, even though they're fins.
Not that
I mean,
What?
they like there is dancing scenes where they use their fins like legs, like they become disjointed almost. So like, I guess if that's part of the world building, that they can dance like that, then they can sit like that, right?
It's disgusting.
Fair enough.
We can admit this whole
Yeah.
film is disgusting.
I also think most of these fish are just fish tank fish.
Yeah, yeah. They
Probably.
didn't. In terms
I
of
don't
like
know.
fishy diversity, you didn't see any like rays or anything like that, or
It's probably all over the Shark Tale Wikipedia.
oh yeah, the wiki fandom.
The Shark Tale
Dude,
Wiki, yeah.
Speaking of fish, like that place is godless. I read about the goldfish fandom in there, and it's just a hellhole. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm not gonna
jeez.
sully the podcast with that, but yeesh.
No, they'll just have to watch the VODs
Yeah.
of your streams
I'll
to
upload
find
it on
out.
YouTube soon.
Yeah, there's a party at Will Smith, Oscar, whatever's bachelor pad. They make Academy Award-winning director Martin Scorsese go, "I'm hot. Psst, I'm doing the Cabbage Patch. Do the Cabbage Patch with me, Oscar." And I'm sad for him.
Yeah, yeah.
He made The Irishman, but before that he had
Yeah.
to do this.
He was
The
this
climb to the
fish.
top.
But then Angie talks with Oscar, and she's mad about being friend-zoned, and Lola interrupts to be like, "It's me, sex fish." And then, before anything can happen, there are sharks on the edge of the reef. Oh no, will Oscar be outed as not the shark slayer? No, because it's Lenny. And they're friends now.
You know what number this scene is?
Is this 12?
This is 12.
Oh, this is kind of important.
Yeah. I did find it.
Yep.
So Oscar becomes friends with Lenny. He learns that Lenny's dad is Don Lito. Lenny stays with him because he can't go home. There's a hermit crab named Crazy Joe who has puppets sometimes and watches Benny Hill. It's just a
I
thing.
imagine like someone pitching that to someone the same way that you just said it, and it's just like they're like, "Sign me up!" Like, inject that straight in my
Yeah,
veins. Like,
Jeffrey Katzenberg was
Just
like,
as uninterested, too.
Jeffrey Katzenberg's like, if it pisses off Michael Eisner, do it. So Lenny and Oscar stage a fight, thinking that it will scare the sharks away. Also, Angie knows about Lenny and is like, Oscar, don't be a liar. And he's like, everything good happened to me because I lied. So the fight happens. Oscar just starts screaming catchphrases
from
that
other
don't
movies.
make sense.
Yeah.
So we get our second Russell Crowe reference, as you mentioned. Are you not entertained? You can't handle the truth. You had me at hello.
Any use of Jerry Maguire is good.
No,
me.
I refute that. This is a bad use. Show me the money would have been. Show me the money would have worked a little better.
But like, oof, you had me at hello, dude. It's a perfect scene.
Not this. Not fucking this.
It's super not relevant.
And like, I guess that's part of the joke, but it just made me mad.
Joke in quotes.
Yeah. So everyone believes Lenny is dead, and Lenny comes out disguised as Sebastian the whale-washing dolphin.
Who has a carpenter belt?
You know, for his washing tools.
Or was it a Village People thing?
Okay, yeah.
There was a construction worker one, wasn't
Yeah.
there? He had the hat. He had the same belt.
Huh. I didn't even think of that. I should know. I saw them live. But Angie freaks out like, you should not be lying to people. So she leaves and is like, I loved you, but now I don't. So now Oscar's sad. And he has to think about, should he tell the truth and give up his life of fame where he, models for Preparation O. There's fish hemorrhoids?
His hemorrhoid.
You
cream
just reminded
cream.
me, Connor. I've never watched a movie and exhaled from my nostrils so many times. Like, yeah.
In anger.
Like, oh boy. Like, that was a real thing.
And then Lola beats the shit out of Oscar for him breaking up with her. Ha 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 ha.
It's her second speed. She has sexy fish and sociopath.
Yeah. And murder fish.
Yeah.
Wow, there's like I just looked at my timer on the recording. There's like no plot to this. I feel like this is the quickest we've ever gone through a plot. Angie gets kidnapped, and it's time for a sit-down between Don Lido and the Shark Slayer. And Lola's in leagues with the sharks. They try to fake Angie getting eaten by Lenny, but then Oscar showboats too much. There is a funny gag where Oscar puts a spoon in between a hammerhead's eyes, and the hammerhead can't see it.
I find it funnier that you thought that was funny than the actual thing. Like,
it's
Exactly.
I feel like it's just baseline funny, just like, haha, that thing's got a weird design so it can't see.
I liked when the shrimp turned the Don into Wooly Willy for a
Oh
second.
yeah, the shrimp come back.
With their bodies.
The shrimp come back, and even though they scream reference, it's still funny. Because it's the voice.
Yeah.
It's the basic voice going, say hello to my
they made
little
it their own that
friends."
time. They didn't just jack it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they find out that Sebastian is actually Lenny, and Don Lido is enraged, so he chases after Oscar, and he goes into the whale wash, and I just wrote down, I forgot the climax of this film is De Niro getting a bath.
Yeah.
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
They're gonna wash him to death.
That's what it is. They both get trapped, and Lenny and Don Lido have a talk, and he's like, I love my kid. I'm not gonna hurt anybody anymore. And
I hate that the moral comparison that Oscar draws at the end is like, oh, you didn't like your son and it's just like my relationship. And that's the whole movie builds to that fucking point.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Bad. And because it's 2004, we get a dance party ending featuring Missy Elliott and Christina Aguilera as a jellyfish.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Shrek. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that was DreamWorks' thing until, like, I want to say Madagascar might have been the last big dance party ending movie. But, like, so many CG animated movies end with the big dance parties just because DreamWorks started it with Shrek.
Yeah.
You were so concerned thinking about whether you could. That
You didn't think
about
you
if
should.
you should.
Like, we all thought it was dead, and then 6 years later, Despicable Me ends with a dance party. Now Oscar's a partner at the Wash, and he hired... We didn't even talk about the 3 kids who do graffiti. There are 3 kids who do graffiti. They show up. They come in at the very...
They pop in and out.
They come in at the very end of the whale wash, do the opposite of washing people because they're spray painting them. They say, I pimped your hide. I want to die.
Psych is an actual pimp at the end.
Yeah. And that's Shark Tale.
Also, so many people have decided that they're going to use the whale wash now. And I want to know, are these people not bathing?
Maybe this is just like...
Do you need to bathe? You're a fish.
Yes. I think it looks different.
It's mostly whales, right? Like, it's not actual fish, right?
Yeah.
But then all the sharks...
I guess...
Because sharks are also
I guess if
big.
you're a big enough boy, it applies, but...
It's also not smart because, like... like, every whale wash scene, they're cleaning inside the mouth. So so sharks are just gonna have fish in their mouth and be like, well, can't do anything about it. I paid for this service.
It's a weird, like, pleasure self-denial thing at the same time. It's like they probably want to eat them.
I guess.
Like, probably. Unless...
They're going to the whale wash to get clean and, do a little edging.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to say before moving on to the criteria?
I'm looking at my notes. In the beginning, like, the kids were talking to Oscar in Yo Mama jokes. That was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, 2000.
That's prime Yo Mama
like...
time, yeah. The Yo Mama era.
When did that show run?
I want to say, like, 2006, maybe.
Let's see. Yo Mama runs.
That's a weird thing to try to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2006, yep. 06 to 09.
Wow.
That's way longer than I
Or no,
thought.
06 to 07, but they had 3 seasons between one year.
The production value must have been, like, easy churning, yeah.
Nothing. It's literally just, alright, we got...
Well, it was just them standing in the parking lot.
Yeah, we just gotta bus in some comedians and pay them SAG minimum.
Yeah. And it's just like, you're gonna be a star.
The prize was $1,000.
I need to watch this again. Even if it's absolute garbage, it's just like...
It probably is.
Yeah.
It certainly is.
But it's a relic of our time.
Yeah, mid-2000s, like, into 07. Whew. It's just like a fever dream when you were born in 95. Oh my god.
Yeah, we didn't know how to entertain in the aughts.
Yeah.
That's why we just started rebooting everything. So that's Shark Tale. And our in-depth plot synopsis. Now we're going to go over our certain bouts of criteria to compare if it's better or worse than The Pacifier. First up on the criteria, how's the soundtrack? It's really good.
Mhm.
It slaps.
It's great. I'm a fan. It's memorable.
It covers it covers a lot of ground for what people remember the movie itself for. Like, if you talk to someone that hasn't seen it in a long time, they'll remember the soundtrack.
Where does the main actor land on the Dieselometer, comparing their performance to Vin Diesel's various performances? Will Smith is giving an alright performance, but it's just him being him. Like, I don't want to say Vin interviews again, but, like, I might just say Vinterviews again.
I say it's Vin Instagram content. It's not the worst of anything. It's not the best. But if you look at, like, when he's posting, especially, like, when he's in production, and he'll, like, go live a little bit, and it'll be, like, him and Michelle Rodriguez, and he'll be like, oh, you know, I'm talking to my family. And it's, like, the premium amount of dad content.
Okay.
That are all of the jokes in this movie.
That works.
That resonates.
Did you have one, JT?
Like how he is for Vin, like in the Vin Dieselometer. I'd say that if comparing the two, it usually this. I feel like I'm gonna ride Luke's coattails on this one because I feel that like it was like a lot of the dialogue that we remember are just like these like one-off like jokes that are just sort of shot at you, and it's just like please hit, like just one of them, just hit, like
yeah.
And they're just trying, but it's like the same type of jokes over and over and over again. But yeah, that's what I got for that one.
That's riding Luke's coattails on the Dieselometer is kind of what I do every episode. Did I like it as a kid, or would I have liked it as a kid? JT, why don't you go first for this one?
I got the same feeling watching this that I got when I watched the cartoon Camp Lazlo. Like I Connor's face is incredible. It's one of those shows that like personally it just felt like media filler, like for my face. Like it was a thing that I watched, but I walked out of the experience very neutral about it in a way. Like, I was just like, okay, like, this is a thing, and it was made.
Yeah. I think Camp Lazlo can only be described as neutral. I mean, its theme song was just bingo, but with different lyrics.
Yeah, it was a very just neutral experience where I wasn't, like, horrified or I'm just like, please, like, turn this off. It was just like, okay, like I was definitely more likely to watch it as a kid versus now, because your standards are so different now, just by living longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Oh, what's up,
Luke?
I'd agree with that. I didn't watch any Camp Lazlo, but like it was pretty neutral. I remember seeing it and nothing else about it. So it's about the same now.
I watched this as a kid and I really liked it, but I also liked pretty much any DreamWorks movie until like I want to say 2008. I think Kung Fu Panda was the first one where I was like, I don't know if I need to see that one, even though it's good. I was just like, eh.
Makes sense.
Alright, what has the director done or gone on to do? Because a lot of these, there's 3 directors credited on this. Like with most animated movies, there's multiple directors. They can get it done in a certain amount of time. Some of them, it's more interesting to see what they did before, and only one after. So, this is Rob Letterman's first movie that he directed. He has gone on to do Monsters vs. Aliens, Goosebumps, and Detective Pikachu, among others. It's
all better than this.
It's all pretty solid.
It's like there's a good progression. Like he's definitely he's definitely made some type of growth, like out of this.
Yeah. I think Goosebumps is a little better than Detective
Sure,
Pikachu,
doesn't have to be
honestly, but
linear. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Goosebumps was
I liked
awesome.
Goosebumps a lot. Then we have Bibbo Bergeron. Bibbo Bergeron?
Like the big furry, well, I guess it's just a little furry guy from Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh,
Is he a bear?
I don't know, man. I don't watch Legends.
He's not a little stuffed bear.
I don't know how many times I tell you when you text me like 47 texts about it at 3 a.m. I don't watch Legends of Tomorrow.
It's honestly, of those shows, it is the most Connor content.
I watch other things, okay? I just finished Smash. Give me a break. Mr. Bergeron, I'll just stick with that. The last thing he directed was something called A Monster in Paris from 2011, I think. But right before this, he did Road to...
That sounds familiar.
But right before this, he did Road to El Dorado. And I like Road to El Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Road to El Dorado is a good one.
And then last but not least, Vicky Jensen. She's in production on something called Spellbound. Magic, I'm guessing. But right before this, she did Shrek.
Ah,
So, bit of a falling off.
can't mess with the king.
Bit of falling off.
Sometimes
of the
I like to imagine if DreamWorks took Shrek and made it their Mickey Mouse of like an IP.
They did for a while, and then like now their whole thing is just every character from any franchise is our logo face. So like when they'll do like the DreamWorks animation like meet and greet experience at Universal Studios. Oh wow, who are we gonna meet? Well, I don't know. It could be Shrek, Poe, Troll, Penguin, Hiccup. Depending on how the sequel goes, Boss Baby maybe.
Yep.
It's coming. Is there anything as memorable as the Peter Panda dance? The puns.
Mm-hmm.
I say the car wash. Well, whale wash, I guess.
Okay.
But
I believe it. Frankly, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that the Peter Panda dance is more memorable than any moment in this movie.
It is shocking how, like, I think it was one day in college, Luke and I realized we both knew it very well after not watching the movie in ages. And that kind of spurred this, but it is shocking how well the Peter Panda dance can get into your skull. Who is the Brad Garrett of this movie? The strange side character that may not get a lot of explanation, but is entertaining. I put either Crazy Joe or the
I was
Octopus
thinking the
Man.
octopus. Yeah. I'd say.
oh, I was all in on Lenny.
Yeah.
He's a main character, though.
Yes.
I mean, they do treat him kind of like
Yeah.
a side character, but like he does open and
He
close.
seems
the
like he's a
movie.
prop to the plot more than an actual character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I don't know, Octopus Guy. Like you could tell they were trying to make Headphone Guy a thing, like a character that like would come back. But then after animating 2 scenes with him in it, they were like, "What are we doing?"
It'd be actually nutty to see the scenes that they cut from this. Because they probably made stuff that they didn't include. And, yeah.
Probably
yeah,
a
it probably
mess.
is. But, like, when you... Yeah, if this was the good stuff.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is the best. Well, I don't know. They don't always show you the best stuff on screen. Have you heard of the Snyder
God.
Cut?
I say the cut of Justice League that we got is better than this movie.
Damn.
And that's saying something.
Poor Shark Tale.
In entertainment value, I did laugh more at Justice League than I did at this.
My man.
Yeah. Seeing Justice League in theaters was great because I just giggled the whole time very loudly. And after a while, the rest of the audience just went, Us too.
Everybody enjoyed it, ironically.
And last but not least, is there anything as batshit insane as the Sound of Music subplot from The Pacifier, which, in case you don't remember, the school finds a Nazi armband in the one boy's locker room, in the one boy's locker, and discover he has bleached his hair blonde. So Vin Diesel and everyone believes maybe he's a Nazi. And after a chase scene, they find out, oh no, he's just Ralph in The Sound of Music. Everything's okay.
No way. Like, and I'm not saying no way to you, but I'm saying, like, to the question, nothing was as crazy as that in this movie.
I think it's a little crazy for 2004 family movie to have a cut and dry gay allegory.
Yeah, I give you that.
But it doesn't reach the level of one scene in and out, maybe Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pacifier shot that into another dimension and then reeled it back in, like, really quick. And like,
Yeah.
like they went, like, almost like seventh heaven, like, whose joint was it? Like, that type of shit. But then
A classic.
but then they didn't play with it. They're just like, oh, gotcha, guys. He's in The Sound of Music. Yeah.
You thought he supported terrible people.
No, he just wanted to act and was, shy about it. Yeah.
He was just Ralph.
He just wanted to be Ralph with a Liesel who's like 40.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Community theater, man.
True. That's a very good point. I did play a young teenager the year I turned 21, so.
Oh.
Do you have...
I thought the world was the only contender.
That is
works.
true.
The world,
Yeah.
the world, and like
Yeah.
the personality of the sexy fish.
Yeah, the fact that there is a sex fish.
Her like psychotic break.
Mm-hmm.
at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, that works. And Luke, do you have a ranking for this?
Well, it's definitely worse. My final rating is 2.5 grubby whale mouths covered in dolphin paint.
All right. I also put it is much worse. I gave it 2 yellowtail rolls out of 6.
I'm agreeing, saying much worse, and saying 2 dead fish that wash up on the shore, and a small child fishes them anyway.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our episode on Shark Tale, DreamWorks animation disaster from 2004. Now it's time to play the Coming Attractions game, where JT is going to pick the movie for our next episode with our next guest, and he's going to give us some hints about it to see if we can figure out what it is. As usual, the last couple episodes, if I get it quick, I'm not going to say it immediately.
Alright.
Cause I never get it.
Frankly, I had several ideas. The first one was just pure sadistic, and I did not want to put you guys through it. It was, it was Max Keeble's big move. And
Oh, I would have loved to revisit Max Keeble,
if you
though.
want, you can do it, but
That's
I know
not the
it's
game.
not. I felt.
not your pick.
I felt.
You dangled it in front of us. Now you're taking
I
it away.
felt
It's
so
like that State Farm
shitty.
commercial.
After
You gotta be
watching,
quicker than that.
after listening to the episodes that are out and this, and watching this, I'm like, man, I could, but I didn't want to. I just felt like it was too mean. But next thought process. Oh god. See, this is the one that I talked about in the beginning where I just don't know what.
Sorry, Max Keeble's big move is on
Thank
Disney
God,
Plus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing later.
Cable, Max Cable. But the next movie, I really wished it was easier to find, and I recommend our hosts and everybody listening to check out maybe my favorite movie of all time, Oversexed Rug Suckers from Mars.
Oh, Jesus
The movie
Christ.
changed my life.
You were
I don't know that
You
one.
were really gonna make me watch that again?
And you wanted to watch Max Keeble? You're a nut.
Yes, I'd rather relive something nice from when I was a child that I don't remember well than something we watched in high school where a woman gives birth to a baby that's also part vacuum.
I feel like I'd be hyped if someone served oversexed suckers from Mars on a platter for me.
I also love how us discussing this movie and like bringing up small bits of it, Luke had zero
yeah.
reaction. He's just like, oh,
The
this
man's
is
fought
some
in the Great
bullshit.
War, we can tell. So, the movie that I
don't even know what to say.
dude, check it out. But I have the DVD either in my room or in storage, but like it's not even on the freaking internet. I have to like burn it and then like send it to you guys or something. But so besides the point, due to the technological difficulties of that one, this one is an international film, and it's an international film that I have watched without subtitles because that was the only means available to watch it. It is newer. It's within the last 5 years. And
okay.
I'm willing to bet the farm that you guys haven't heard of it. But I enjoyed it. So what we will... So, do you want me to give you any more hints, or do you want me to reveal it to you guys?
I mean, the only international film from the last 5 years that I'm thinking of is all, like, Bong Joon-ho stuff. Which I'm doubting it's Parasite.
Not Parasite.
Since you said it's on YouTube. I don't... I'm trying to think of, like, what were French movies. Les Miserables.
Nope.
Roma.
You have a lot more international movies to pull from than I would. But this movie is called Da Hoofa. It is a Chinese movie that came out in 2017. And I found out just by searching that the subtitles, it was uploaded, I watched it on some weird Chinese site before, without subtitles, and now I found out that it was uploaded onto YouTube last December with subtitles. So I'm going to rewatch it.
How do you spell Da Hoofa? Because when I searched it, when I searched Da Hoofa, DAHOOFA.
DA space HU space FA.
HUFA. See, I did HOOFA, and it's just a bunch of results of where is Jimmy Hoffa buried.
Yeah, that is the movie that I'm going to have you guys watch. It's gonna be a bit of a change of pace. But
this, I mean, I'm digging the screenshots.
Sick. Yeah,
something brand new.
The animation style looks really cool.
The animation carried my entire experience without having no idea what anybody was saying. So now you actually get to know what people are saying.
And didn't you, Luke, didn't you say our next guest is potentially our first international guest?
Yes, Jess lives in Spain.
Cool. All right. Well, that worked out weirdly well. So tune in next week when Luke and I and Jess, our guest, will discuss Da Hoofa. I'm gonna be curious to see if
take this journey with us.
I'm gonna be curious to see if any of our listeners are like, oh, love it. My Dafu head over here.
Considering it came out of China, and like a lot of Chinese media sort of just like stays in China, it'd be nuts if someone knew about it. because I stumbled upon it.
I wish that I had contact with my relatives from that side of the family. I haven't talked to any of them in a very long time.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
Huh.
Anyway, so thank you for being
no
on,
problem.
JT.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I did.
Hope you had fun.
Yeah. If anyone's curious, you can watch him on Twitch at camp_daddy.
Yeah.
It's in his own words. It's just like shitpost streaming.
Yeah. What pretty much is I come up, I research something like Pepperidge Farm goldfish or the Teletubbies, and I dive deep into any information I can find about it, and then create a conspiracy theory about that topic. So, yeah.
Sometimes he
Cool.
might play Mario Kart Wii, and you'll see me in the chat yelling at him about how I think it's a
If you
bad
want to see me
game.
rage, just find when Connor's on.
So yeah, tune in next week for Da Hoo Fa. And for no highway option, I've been Connor.
And I've been Luke.
There you go. That took a second. And
Yeah, like...
as always, these have been our opinions. And if you didn't like it, too bad, because it's our way. No highway
No
option.
highway option.
That was really close.
Holy shit.
That was actually kind of good.